Everybody, and welcome to the Crest Touring Car Challenge. I am your commentator. I am here. There it is, me, Andy Pauly. I will be with you for the duration of tonight's activities. We have 3 races coming up for you after the qualifying session. As always, ballast is in play. We are in the second half of the season. It is round 5 and there are 25 drivers currently in the lobby tonight. It is going to be a tightly contested contest for this tonight's races. It's going to all be about them points getting themselves set up for the next couple of races. There's the event. We are at ZANDVOORT. We are on the smaller of the 2 tracks. We don't go all the way out. We're not the GP layout. The date's a bit off. It's actually today. It isn't next week. The cars we're running are all little hatchbacks. It's the Cupra, the Hyundai, the Peugeot. There are no Volkswagens currently in this league at the moment. We have 2 Meganes, Opel and a couple of Civics. There are some Alfa Romeos, but the 2018 Alfa Romeo is banned because after the update it is mighty fast compared to everything else. And there's only 2 Hyundais running as well. That's Russ Butcher and Rob South are running those. That's the wrong button, as always. Buttons and buttons and buttons. There's the track choice. ZANDVOORT on the national layout. 1.7 miles long, 2.8 kilometres, 11 turns, 7 right and 4 left. Race room cost £3 of your 42 of your English pennies. Previous winners, there are Tatashi and Janssen, who are not racing. Janssen is racing, is currently 11th, fastest at the moment. Will we see him take a double at this track? That will be interesting to find out. In terms of the Drivers' Championships, Michael Cloughy drop scores are now in play. So drop scores will have been updated. They will get updated going into the final round. So in 3 weeks' time, they will get updated again. So at the moment, Michael Cloughy is leading. He is carrying the maximum ballast of 50 kilograms. Pavel is second. He's carrying 45. Bar week 1, that is the lowest he's actually been carrying so far. So he's going to, I would put him on pole. Well, I say that. Shaw's User is currently fastest in practice on a 1:15.870. It's Shaw's local track, so we'll see how that pans out. Benny Norton's in third. Alex Everett, I've seen on the Discord, is no longer racing, so he's not going to finish fourth. Jamie Dory is fifth. Lee Horn is sixth. They're the next gen racing boys. Stu Neal is seventh. He's the second highest Renault Megane. Poddy Flack is 8th, Ross Dance is 9th, Perkis is 10th, Alex Ward is 11th. Alex Ward took a race victory last time out. He was a Race 3 master. He was on the voice chat. Jean Petra is moving up the tables fast. And is he going to get that 128 points? It will be interesting to see. Butcher's 13th, Diony Boki, not racing at the moment. Johansson, Deeks, Kozlov, Hans, Alec, Plummer, Kirby, and then you can read the rest all the way down. But more importantly, the Categories Championship, and this is important. So Cloughy currently leads the CA1 category, followed by Pavel, followed by Benny Norton. They're top three. Top three in CA2 is Alex, followed by Boki, followed by Johansson. Now, Boki's not racing at the moment, so he's going to at some point lose that position, which is a real shame for him. Real shame for him, but that's just how it is. Last time out, Alex Wall's teammate, which was Fraser Rostance, who's currently in 9th place in CA1. Did a stellar job and allowed Alex to get that race 3 victory, which was very crucial for his championship extension. CA3 also tightly contested. Ronnie Plummer, he's in the bright yellow Seat Cupra. He is 31 points ahead of Derek Neal, who's ahead of Jamie Higgs. Bill Campion was top 3, but he missed last week, and unfortunately that has hurt him. And that's how it stacks up for tonight. Let's have a little look over to the early times that we're seeing on the board as they are in the practice session. It is sunny weather, as you'd expect. It's always sunny here in RACEROOM. Early sessions is so Shaw's user is currently the fastest. He's on a 1:15.870, but we don't know fuel loads yet. The practice session opens up at 5:30, you see. So a lot of the drivers are going to be sorting themselves out, getting themselves ready. So currently fastest in Sector 1, Shaw's user 26.462, but he's not fastest in Sector 2. Fastest in Sector 2 is Lee Horn, 17.707, and fastest in Sector 3 is Stu Neal, who's currently 3rd fastest, 31.372. So at the moment, the top 4 are separated by less than 1/10 of a second in this practice session. But where is Pavel? He's down in 23rd, currently not set a lap time yet. So I think Pavel's in the pits. Yeah, he's in the pits as it stands at the moment. So we haven't seen Pavel's true race pace yet. So that will be interesting to see if he can extend his lead within the, well, if he can catch Michael Clough within the championship. Clough's down in 5th. At the moment, he's down in 5th position. So that's obviously going to affect him as well. Benny Norton's in 6th, so Benny Norton is currently 3rd in the championship, and he's right behind the fastest, the current championship leader, but it's a 2/10 off a 3/10, so he's 1/10 of a second slower than Michael Clough. Now, there could be some tactical decisions going on there, but I doubt it. They're racing for points with 3 minutes and 48 seconds of the practice session remaining before we go into the 15-minute qualifying. It is an open qualifying session. We do run open setup as well, so the drivers can they tinker with the cars. There are setups that one guy will give the setup, as Alex alluded to last time out during his chat with us on stream. He pointed out that it was one of the guys from the Next Gen Racing Boys basically does the setup for about 3 or 4 of them. Alex just turns up, Ray picks the car up and drives it around and hopes for the best. So yeah, it's very tricky. You've got to get it just right. Now, Shaw's is currently fastest in the practice, but do I think we're going to see a 1:15.870? Don't know. I don't know. I think that's going to be a tough time to beat. It's a shorter track. I'd expect to see at least a 1:15.6. That's what I'd expect to see. But we will find out as we get in with 25 to go. So if you're new to the format, qualifying is an open qualifying. It's a 15-minute session of qualifying. They have to find position on track. It's not closed like you see in some other leagues where they basically just hot lap it and there's nobody else on the track as Carl Smith sends him off to Barrière. They're going to have to find space on the track. Does it hamper it? Yes, but can you gain an advantage through a slipstream? Yes, you can. Is it effective here at Zandvoort? Not really. Somewhere like Spa, you really get a gain. Portugal going off a little bit there. There's Rostance. He's one of 2 Peugeots. That's the hairpin, which brings you back around to the back section of the track. You don't carry on round to the left and go up basically into the back end over into the hill. So it makes the track shorter. It does give it a harder braking zone. Turn 1 is your predominantly major overtaking zone at this racetrack. It is a classic style track, which means that you don't get that. There just isn't the space on the track to have to go 2 or 3 wide into every single corner. The runoff is grass, which means if you go onto the grass, you will end up in a massive accident. We've seen it before. We saw it at Norris Ring. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of an accident when they all came together, but that's just how it is sometimes. That's racing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, especially tonight. It's all out for the prizes. We can see as well, so one of the big changes, Shaw's User has gone back to his Seat Cupra. So he was running around in the Honda Civic, but he's gone back to the Seat Cupra. I've always known him in the Seat Cupra, so it's quite... So I think it's got more to do with the fact that he's actually more comfortable in that car than anybody else. So yeah, he's fast in that car. He's always rapid in that car. I've seen him win championships in that car. So I'd expect that's got a bit to do with it. We will find out as we've got 30 seconds of this practice session remaining. Then we go into, like I said, then we go into the 15-minute qualifying session. That will set the positions for race 1. Race 2 is a top 10 reversal of the finishing positions of race 1. Ballast is applied based on qualifying positions in race 1. So Lee Horton's got a 1:15.835. He's 0.3 of a second faster, 0.03 of a second faster than Shaw's, but I don't know if we've seen the full extent of Shaw's yet. Pavel has not set a competitive time yet. No, he never set a time in that, so we don't know where he was. We never saw anything from Tim Johnson, who's currently going round, or Portugal, Carl Smith, Bill Campion. We've not seen a competitive lap time from either of those. So who is going to be the first driver to exit the pits? It's going to be Shaw's User. We'll keep it on auto direct for now. So Shaw's User is in the number 99. Let's keep it with Shaw's User. Now they're all going to have to try and find space, because this is the problem. At the front there, that is Stu Neal. Stu Neal for the Apex Predators, teammates to Michael Clough, championship leader, don't forget. Stu Neal has won a race this season. He ran it on Brands Hatch race 2. He was top 4 in the qualifying, in the practice session. Is he going to convert this in the next 15 minutes? We will keep an eye as he goes through, because he's going to be the first driver to go through the timing boards. He will be the one setting the early pace. We are looking for a low 1:15, I think it was, that I'd expect. Again, they're going to be hot lapping out of this, so they're going to have to put a banker in and then go for a hot lap. So in roughly around 5 minutes for the entire cycle to get back to the pits, treat the car, put the fuel in, do a warm-up lap, find traffic, and go for it. So Stu Neal's going to be the first man across the track, and there you can see the Next Gen Racing boys. There you can see also the Shaw's User in the background as well. Shaw's User is teammates to Jean Petra, so he's going to be giving him a lovely tow down the straight. Yes, he is. We will see Jean Petra in that number 50. Should peel off. He should peel off. He should have peeled off there. Shaw's is just faster. I think that was a tactical error from these two. John Petra is the 50 car ahead, slowing down the 99 of Shaw's User. So I do think that's going to be slowing him up as they go across the board. Stu Neal fastest in Sector 1, 26.934, but he would be because he's the only driver through that sector. Anybody faster on the board? Yes, they are. So Shaw's User is faster in that sector at 26.6. He's 0.3 of a second faster than Neal was through that sector as they come up on the board. A lot of 27s in that sector. 44.474, fastest in sector 2 total time. He's going on here, so Jean Petra could be on. There's Pavel in the background flashing his lights in the 55. He's saying, I'm coming, get out the way, but I don't think it's going to work. Is Shaw's User going to put it on provisional pole? Neal will go first. He should get provisional pole position as the 79 peels off. Shaw's User 1:16.235. Do I think that's good enough? No, I do not. I'm expecting a 1:15 15.8 is what I'd be looking at realistically. Maybe sooner than that. Alex Ward going through there, sector 1. What can he do? He is a race winner. Open time out. Fastest in that sector was Alex Ward, 17.873. Fastest in that sector. Body Flak is improving. Who is on a purple? Alex Ward is purple in sector 2. Jean Petra is faster in that first sector, 7/100th of a second. He's got a lovely toe just ahead of him from Tim Johnson in that Alfa Romeo. Behind that, there you can see Shaw's User in the 99. He's peeled off, warming his tyres up. Is that Tim Johnson or is that Jeff Purkis? No, that's Jeff Purkis in that 55. Is Purkis going to slow down that man? It's going green across the board. Pascal has gone faster in that sector. Cloughy's also going faster as we now flip to Michael Clough. 0.3 of a second up. Can he break into the 1:15s? Like I said, we're looking for a 1:15.8. That will be the lap time that we are looking for. The question is it going to be the lap time that gets him onto pole position, and can he keep it? No, he hasn't. He's green. Somebody is going faster in those sector. Jean Petra, a 1:15.968, fastest lap. What can Michael Clough do from this sector? He will cross the line, 1:16.1. Only good enough for third. Pavel is in second place. We did not see Pavel in practice. I think he was just taking his Weetabix, and he's added up, turned it up, got up to 11. In second he now goes. Jean Petra fastest on a 1:15.968. Do I think that is going to be the fastest lap time this evening? No, I do not. I'd expect it to be, like I said, down in the lower 1:15s. Sector Neil tends to lose out in those middle sectors. Now they have had a improvement when it comes to. They have had an improvement in terms of launch control on the Renault Megane, because historically this season all the way up to Laguna Seca they lost one position on every single race. Sector 3 a 1:15.960, only good enough for second. Jean Petra, Shaw's User, a 1:15.749. I'm expecting a 1:15.69-ish to be fastest pole position. What can Portugal do? He is down in 17th, purple, green in sector 1, green in sector 2. Can he maintain that, get himself into top 10? 1.4, no, he stays 17. Plummer gets himself up to 18, pushes down Grasser, pushes down Steve to 19th position. Body Flak, top 10 now. Can he do anything? 0.3 off pole position. Can he get himself top 6? Crosses the line, gets himself into. No, he doesn't. It's a 5.22. 0.5 off current pole position sitter Shaw's User. Craig Deek is improving. He's on a 26.893. Green in sector 1, green in sector 2 as we come down to the penultimate 2 corners. It is a right hand followed by a right hand again. Can he get that lovely toe off the straight? Is there anybody ahead of him? I don't think there is. Riding on board with him now as he crosses the line. What can he do here? He's in a 1:13, 1:14, 1:15. Does he improve into top, just outside the top 10? Into 11th, Craig Deek goes. What can Anastasios do here? He is in the Honda on the 86. Anastasios either has a great race or a bad race. He tends to not finish or finish quite well. He never tends to finish in the middle. So he's going to want redemption for some of the poor results he's had this season so far. But it's those race 2 and race 3 results. That's what wins you the championships. He gets 0.2 up. He goes 11th fastest. Absolutely sensational. Just outside the top 10. Pushes Craig Deek down to 12th. Body Flak currently in 10th position. Can he improve? No, he doesn't. Butcher just ahead. He's in 15th at the moment with his teammate down in 20th. Yola Johansson, a race winner here in previous seasons, gets himself into 12th. This is Pavel. He's currently in 4th position. He had a little bit of traffic, so he hasn't got, unfortunately, as Sergey said last week out, his teammate of his teammate of Kozlov and his friend Alec, who have been helping him out in the season, they're just not there at the moment, and that that just showed he just couldn't get it on pole position. Can he go fastest? 1:15, 1:16. He's 5/10 up in that final sector. Lee Horn. What can Lee Horn do here? The system, he's going for a lap. Lee Horn currently in 8th fastest. How can he do here? Is he going to be behind his buddy Benny Norton? No, he's in 5th position. Lee Horn, the Next Gen Racing boys, have been hounded Benny Norton for a large proportion of the season. This is Rob South, new to the season, teammates to Russ Butcher. He's currently in 20th position. Can he improve himself? He's 1/10 off, 2.1. He's lost so much time in that second sector. In sector 3, he stays 20th at the moment. Bill Campion, 23rd, 1.6. Can he get himself into top 20 with 6 minutes 15 remaining? Final line, crosses the line, 2.92. Goes 23rd. So he improves, but only on a personal best. Jeff Perkis, race winner, don't forget. So he knows how to win races. The question is, can he convert this? He also streams live as well on YouTube. Get yourself down there, called Scooby Sims. He's in the 55 Alfa Romeo, 4/10 off. Can he hold that up? 4.89, goes 13th. 3 outside top 10. Can he get a race 3 win? This is what's going to be vital for him. Because in race 2, top 10 are reversed. In race 3, top 15 are reversed, which would put Butcher currently, if everything stayed as it was, on pole position for race 3. Timmy Johnson improves to 24th. Only 3.3 off the lead, and then we saw Jules use a current fastest lap on a 1:15.748. He's not doing anything special there. He's not doing anything special. Pavel Makolin is actually fastest in sector 3. He's currently in 4th position. He's done a 17.786 in sector 2, sorry, not sector 3. Sector 1 and sector 3 is Shaw's User. They are the fastest. He is the fastest in that sector. Last lap, Jean Petre did a 17.86 in sector 2, so he's not really doing anything special here. Fraser Rostance is trying to improve it, 1/10 off, so if he can maintain that gap, he'll get himself top 3 if he can maintain this, but I don't think he will. He maybe go 5th. If he can hold on to this, he needs to cross the line in a 1:16. No, 600th off, 600 off. It's that final sector that is making or breaking the drivers tonight. And it's carrying the speed through those 2 corners. Shaw's User was fastest and then retired. So he had gone fastest, but his nearest rival is 0.2 of a second, which is his own teammate, which is Jean Petre. With 4 minutes to go, they might go out. So Shaw's User is going to go out for 1 more hot lap. He's currently exiting the pits at the moment. Jean Petre is now exiting the pits. So the number we're looking at is when we get 2 minutes. If they aren't on the track, they're going to struggle to get a lap in. Martin Kirby down in 20th position. In that 99, that's a car that Shaw's used to race, but now Kirby has taken it over. 1.1 second down off provisional pole position out of sector 2. Can he improve his time? Can he maintain that 1 second gap? He's going to have to really push it. If he can put himself into the 17th or 18th, crosses the line, 1.4, remains 20th. Doesn't really go any faster. Russ Butcher is green in sector 1, green in sector 2, but he's not really setting the timing sheet to light. He's in 15th at the moment. He's struggled with that Hyundai i30. It's the brake balance since the update. He hasn't been able to keep the car locked. Jamie Dory's actually gone fastest in sector 2. Let's have a little look what Jamie Dory's doing. No, he hasn't really set anything off there. He is fastest in sector 2 on a 17.775. So he's taken that away from Pavel. So there is a theoretical lap that is a 1/10 faster than the current 1:15.748. That is Fraser Rostance, currently in 7th position. Cloughy, championship leader, is just ahead of him. Benny Norton is in 5th. Pavel is in 4th. So as it stands at the moment, the top 3 in the championship are 4th, 5th and 6th. And obviously Cloughy is leading in 5th, is leading that, followed by Pavel and then Benny Norton. So yeah, it's getting very, very toasty with 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. Fraser Rostance there, 1/10 off. I don't think he's going to improve. He's 3/10 off currently. It's these final sectors, these final 2 sectors, and it's the final drive out the corner which is really costing them a lot of time and a lot of pressure at the moment, and that's where they're making or breaking. There goes Benny Norton in one of the Astras. 2.93, yeah, he slightly improves, but he stays in 7th. To make that gap up, he's really got to push that car. So I don't think he's going to do anything from there. Shaw's User, he's warming up for his last go around the track. So this is it. This is make or break now. He's on a 1:15.748. Anybody going faster at the moment? No. No. Where is Pavel Makonin? Pavel is in Sector 3, but he's got no fast laps as it stands at the moment. What can Shaw's used to? There's Bill Campion. He's had not a great Sector 1, but he's managed to find time in Sector 2, so he's gone purple in Sector 2. So Shaw's user is currently setting the timing screens alight as it stands at the moment. Let's see what he can do. So this is his last flying lap, really. If he doesn't get it on the board, his nearest rival, which is Pavel Makonin. You've also got Stu Neal as well, but realistically I think it's Pavel Makonin who we are watching, because there's Pavel just in the background in that 55 Seat Cupra. What can he do? Jean-Petre and Stu Neal are now, they've abandoned their laps. This is a straight fight between Shaw's User, currently fastest, on a 1:15.748. He's not gone faster in Sector 1. He's actually not done a personal best. Best is a 26.536. He's not that far off. He's 0.05 of a second, 0.005 of a second off. What's Pavel doing in those sectors? This is what's important to us. He's improved Sector 1. He's improved Sector 2. We don't want that yet. Can he cross the line? Can he get himself up to 2nd position? This is what's going to happen. Can he cross the line? He's getting green and green and green. We're looking for that magic number. He crosses the line into 3rd. Only improves. Jumps Stu Neal. It was very tense at that end. So Shaw's User is provisional pole sitter with Jean-Petre in 2nd. Second in the championship is Pavel, followed by Stu Neal. Benny Norton, championship leader. Michael Clough is down in 6th, but he's going to be looking to ditch the ballast for race 2 and race 3. Fraser Rostance, Lee Horn, Dory, Flack, Anastasios, Johansson, Butcher, Perkis, Deeks, Ward, Portugal, Plummer, Stephen, Kirby, South, and Neal. Campion, Johnson, Tim Johnson and Carl Smith round up the 25-car grid. Confirmation there that Shaw's User wasn't the fastest lap in that sector. So it's going to get, I think it's going to get very exciting as we get through to this first race of the evening. The question is, who is going to take it? I would be putting my 50p on Shaw's User. The reason being, Shaw's is going to take it because Jean-Petre is right behind him. And Jean-Petre is his teammate. They are trying to do, they're going to have to decide which one of them is going to basically take the forerunning for the attack on the championship. And that's what's going to be key. They've changed to the Cupras. They were in the Hondas because in the second half of the season, the Cupra is the more powerful car. So they've made that change. You are allowed to make one car change without any impact to your championship in the Crest Autosport League. So they've taken it. They've taken that change, and it is a tactical change, but you have to use all of the tools you've got in your toolbox in order to get the maximum amount of points. You are chasing down Pavel and Michael Clough, and those two are rapid. And that's where, if Shaw's and Jean-Petre can get themselves up into the final race, into a championship winning position, it will be a 3 to 4 car fight to the end. Do I think Benny Norton's going to be able to do that? Not unless he capitalises on races 2 and 3. At the moment, Pavel and Cloughy are the two drivers at the moment who are in a category of their own. They are the championship contenders. Shaw's and Jean-Petre joined late. If they joined at the start, would they be championship contenders? 100%. Alex Everett isn't in the league, isn't racing anymore, so he's out of it. He had an outside chance of winning it. He didn't take a victory up to the top in 6 races. In 9 races he hadn't taken a race victory, but he finished top 5 all the time. So you can win a championship, as we've seen in previous leagues, without actually winning a race. But that's how it works out now. That's how it works out in this day in history. So if you're just joining us, you are joining us not on the 29th, it is actually the 7th of March at the World Touring Car Challenge hosted by Crest Autosport. And we are at the ZANDVOORT racetrack. It is the national layout at 1.7 miles or 2.8 kilometres. There are 11 turns, 7 right, 4 left. Race room cost is £3.42, but I would always say wait until Race Room do their deals, because Race Room always does deals and you can pick up multiple if you want to race, basically for next to no nothing. If you're just commentating like me, you just need to download the game. You don't have to buy content because the game is you can't modify the game, which is one of the major benefits of the Race Room package, is that you don't have to buy, as you see with R Factor 2 and iRacing, and because there's no mods like you get in ACC, you can just, to spectate and commentate, you can just buy the base package. I'm your commentator, Andy Pauly. I've got different glasses there, but that's me. And I will be with you for the duration of tonight's proceedings. So we've got 1 20-minute left of the warm-up session, then we will go into race 1. It is 15 minutes and ballast is based off championship positions. Which means, at the moment, Michael Clough, currently in 6th on the grid, has got the maximum 50 kilograms on board. Pavel in 2nd, Pavel down in 4th, has got, has got 45 kilograms on board. Benny Norton just ahead of him has got 40 kilograms on board. Alex Everett is not racing. Jamie Dorey has got 35 kilograms, followed by Lee Horn, who has got 35 kilograms. They're both equal on 35. Stu Neal's on 20, 15's Poddy, 10 is Rostance, and 5 is Perkis. So Perkis is and knows how to get, win races, get up there. The question is he going to be able to convert that now? Is he going to be able? He's going to, like I've said before, he's going to have to make that choice between him and his teammate, because Alex Ward is currently leading the CA2 championship. And realistically, does Fraser Rostance have that ability to lead CA1? I don't think he does, but yeah, it's going to be tricky, I think. It's going to be very, very tricky for him, because Rostance is just faster than Alex Ward. So where Rostance is going to really play dividends to Alex, I think, is going to be races 2 and 3, where Alex has that opportunity to take those race victories and take the CA2 title. CA3 is wide open as it stands at the moment. It's going to be very tricky, I think, and we'll see how that pans out. So we're going to go over now. This is over to the main feed. We have got 50 seconds. All the drivers are going to lobby themselves up. Then we will go racing for race 1. It is a 15-minute race. There it is. Everyone's going to get ready. You'll hear the engine noise rise. We will, of course, have replay action between the races, as we always do, to do that analysis, to see what happened. Give you predictions. I can see quite a lot of you. Nobody's really chatting, but you come and say hi. We're not, we're not mean to say that. 26 seconds to go. Here we go. They're all going to get ready to go into turn 1. Watch the lights at the top left. It's all going to kick off. Are they all going to get through turn 1? Is Jean Petre going to take over his teammate? It's lights out and away we go. Has he had a perfect start? Yes, he has. Shaw's Usher on the left has absolutely done everything he needs to do into turn 1. The helicopter camera there, you can see Stu Neal in 3rd. Benny Norton hits the brakes. Have they all gone through into turn 1? No, he hasn't. Pavel McCollin has gone straight up the inside. They are 2 by 2 into that first corner. It's all kicking off. Has he managed to get the lead? He's put it on 2 wheels. He's put it on 2 wheels. He's had an accident all by himself, and that has cost him the lead. So riding on board now with Jean Petre. He's in 2nd. There is Pavel McConin back into 2nd place. Stu Neal, he's the 4th car in the row. In the background, there's a little bit of argy-bargy. The question is, what can he do from here? Oh, he's lost out. Michael Clough, he started 6th, he's down to 7th. They are all trying to nip and tuck into that corner. Down the gearbox they go. Fraser Rostance, does he go up the inside? Yes, he does. Michael Clough is going backwards. He's down to 9th position, and Pavel Makonin's in 3rd in that 53. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. Craig Deek in the background there in that 79, going up the inside of Portugal. Wow, very risky manoeuvre, very risky manoeuvre. Anastasios in the 86 has Stephen in that car. Oh, Kirby's gone off. Neil's gone off in the background, but we're riding on board now from the back of Benny Norton. He's in 5th position. There is 6th, there is Fraser Rostance. Right behind that's Jamie Dorian Flack as the 33 of Michael Clough goes in little deep. He's going to have to do the old switcheroo with his old buddy there of Poddy Flack if he wants to get past, because right behind that is Lee Horn. We're riding on board now. He's in 10th position. There's Fraser Rostance. He's trying to make the moves on the man ahead, which is going to be Jamie Dory. Does he get it done? No, he doesn't, because Benny Norton is being the blocker in this queue. But there is Jamie Dory in that number 18. Benny Norton followed by Rostance, followed by Lee Horn. Oh, has he gone wide? Has he gone wide? Yes, he has. Benny Norton has gone wide into that corner, but he'll be on the outside, so Fraser Rostance should get this done. Oh, he's got a bit wide there. We'll have a look at that post-race. Press the button. Does he get it done? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Whoa, Fraser Rostance there, getting a little bit of a tap from his old mate Lee Horn, from Jamie Dory. That's going to be very tricky there, but you get the feeling that it's just a matter of time. Pavel Makonin, because there's Benny Norton from the rear camera. Whoa, Jamie Dory's gone off the rails. Pavel Makonin, fastest lap, a 1:15.944, a confirmed fastest lap. Absolutely sensational from him. As you see, Poddy Flack trying to go up the inside of Jamie Dory. He won't do that at the hairpin. That's going to be a very tricky manoeuvre. They're 2 by 2. One of them is going to have to give it up. Poddy Flack in that Astra. There he is, the Marquette Astra. He's got Cloughy right behind him. He's got Dory just ahead. Those two are stuck together like glue. Pavel is 2/10 off the man ahead. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. Anastasios in the background a little bit. There he is in the 86. He needs to make progress fast if he wants to go forward, but we re-flip to the battle of Benny Norton. Fraser Rostance there trying to do everything he can. He's attacking the man ahead. That is 5th position. That's Benny Norton. Double race winner. So he knows how to defend. He knows how to win races. But the problem is he's just not got the speed on this man here. That is the ballast that's paying effect, because Jamie Dory in that number 18 Honda has just doing all he can do. You have Rostance, right? Jean Petra will watch that as unfold at the lead. Is he going to make a move? As you see, Benny Norton has gone defensive at the minute. He's allowed to do that, and because he's still on the straight, he's not got to the braking zone. He does have a car's width. It's job done. Michael Clough is defending from Lee Horn. That is Honda versus Renault Megane. That's what's the problem, because Lee Horn is in 10th, Michael Clough is in 9th. I think he's going for ballast, reverse grid, race 2. That's the tact I think he's playing. Russ Butcher's into 11th, and right behind that you've got Yola Johansson. I hope you said your name right, Ola. I believe your name is Yola Johansson. There he is in the 91, but at the moment Poddy Flack is holding it off. You get the feeling that they're all just settling in with 2/3 gone, 1/3 remaining, which I actually mean is 1/3 gone, 2/3 remaining. Absolutely sensational stuff. There's Russ Butcher right behind. He is in the Honda, and you can see riding on board from him now, he can just see the massive M25 car park that's ahead. If you were out car spotting, you'd be like, wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars, nose to tail. There's Michael Clough riding on board with him now, down from that rear camera. There is Lee Horn in that 63. He's in 10th position, and he doesn't want to lose that. Alex Ward is attacking Portugal. He's got this on. Stu Neal, new fastest lap of a 1:15.910. Does he go for it? No, he doesn't. They're all trying to look out, but it's not going to work into there. Has Yola Johansson gone for it? No, he hasn't. Is Alex Ward going to go for it? No, he doesn't. Tim Johnson and Bill Campion are fighting each other. Alex Ward is now right on the back of Portugal. He's not on the back. He backed out of that. That was a very sensible move there from Alex Ward. But he's in a winning position here. He just needs to finish this race in 15th and finish race 2 in 15th. And then he can have a pole position for race 3 and join the exclusive double winners club, which we've seen 2 drivers do this season so far. Fraser Rostance and Benny Norton. Surely Fraser has got this done. He just doesn't have the confidence on the brakes. He doesn't have the confidence on the brakes, so he's braking that little bit earlier, and that's compromising him and really costing him time. Alex Ward and Portugal, very scruffy there from Stephen. I think he tried to send that up the inside, but he's good from him. He slowed it down. He's let that driver retake the position on Alex Ward. That's great racing etiquette. We all make mistakes, but Alex Ward is now down in 17th position. Jules User, new fastest lap, a 1:15.834. Jamie Dory, oh, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. Rostance in the 7, Jamie Dory on the left. Is he going to hold it as Fraser Rostance? He's really hurting in that car at the moment. So Jamie Dory is up to 6th position. Mike Clough is holding 9th at the moment. So Jamie Dory is up to 6. He's got Benny Norton right ahead of him. And Benny Norton is top 3 in the Drivers' Championship. So he's going to be wanting to hold on to as many points as possible. He's carrying the ballast as well because he started on 4th position for pole. So that's going to hurt him as well into the corner. He takes a completely different line through there. We'll have a look at that next time out, because if there's a little bit of a push there and that's pushing him out, then that's a bit naughty. But I don't think it is. I think it's just bunching on the camera, but we will have a look next time out. Benny Norton's, there he is in the Astra, riding on board now with Fraser Rostance, who was attacking for 5th position, but he's down in 7th now. He's got Poddy Flack right behind him. Stephen got another track limits penalty. This is Fraser Rostance. He's in 7th. He's gaining. And you can see it there, the battle for 6th. He's just getting closer and closer and closer. Jamie Dory has gone defence. Whoa! That's a very late move there from Jamie Dory. He had to be very careful there that he didn't cut straight across Rostance and cut him out. And that's compromised Jamie Dory's exit. Look how much time he's lost to the back of Benny Norton. That's the problem, that type of move. Michael Clough is holding on to 9th position at the moment. As we ride on board now from Benny Norton, the question is, he's not close enough, so we can't see whether or not it was a little bit of a tap. He's just got so much confidence on that Honda. It's just so much confidence on the Honda compared to Benny Norton. Jamie Dory just has the confidence in the car to slow it down, get the car rotated and get on the power that little bit earlier. But the Honda in 1st and 2nd just doesn't have the go that the Astra has. But when you get into the 5th and 6th gears, it's so much more powerful. But the straight here just isn't long enough for him. Lee Horn is on the back of Cloughy. This is all Cloughy needs to do. He doesn't need to do anything else. If he can hold on to 9th and 10th position, he's basically going to check himself out for a race 2 victory. John Petra, he's in 2nd position. There's our leader. Shaw's User in the 99. Behind that at the moment is Pascal Jean Petra. Pavel Makonin is down in 3rd position. He's just gone off into the distance all by himself. Stu Neal's keeping him honest. He's just touching base, but not enough to cause any difference. Alex Ward's up into 16th. He needs to gain 1 more position, so he's got past Portugal Rodriguez. He needs to get past... Oh, he's done it. Where's Craig Deek gone? Craig Deek had an accident all by himself. So Alex Ward is back up into 15th. That's where he needs to be. Just needs to hold on to it. Rob South, that's the other Hyundai i30 racing. The other one is Russ Butcher, his teammate, currently up to 11th. Right, Benny Norton has Rostance all over the back of him again. But I don't think Rostance just doesn't have the confidence on the brakes. He just doesn't have the confidence there. And it's compromising him, those little taps. The game won't register those. For those of you that are asking that question, the game won't register those because they're just little taps. They don't cause any real damage to the car. Benny Norton is just suffering at the moment. But the problem is, right at the back of this is this man here. This is Lee Horn. He's in 10th position. As we ride now from the back of Lee Horn, there's Fraser Rostance. Fraser Rostance in the right side, that white Motel Bonnet red number 7 Peugeot. You're just not going to go round there. That's just not going to work. Fraser just really needs to pick his line a bit more carefully, I think. He has the confidence in the car. He just needs to get a much better turn out of turn 1. There's a little bit of a knock there from Fraser Rostance up the back of Benny Norton, but it's cost Rostance more than it cost Benny Norton. So for those of you thinking, there's going to be a penalty, there's going to be no penalty for that because the biggest loser out of that was Fraser Rostans. Again, he gives him a tap there. That's, yeah, he's actually tapped him there on the back of that. So he needs to be careful here of whether he gained the position or not. It's going to come down to this corner here. Does he get it round? Does Benny Norton get the drive off the corner? It's going to be very, very tight from there. We'll hit the replay and we'll have a look at that post-race analysis. But he goes through. But it's one of those tough ones, really, because Benny Norton was always going to suffer from there. He's just slower than everybody else, and everybody's mugging him. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything in that, really. I think Benny Norton, he's just suffering, and he's going backwards and backwards and backwards now. So Michael Clough, are they all going to mug him? Rostans has now cleared him. Benny Norton, he's got Poddy Flack up his inside. There goes the 33 of Michael Clough, but he needs to be careful he doesn't lose out to Lee Horn and Jamie Dory. That's the problem he's got. There's Rostans, he's now cleared him. Cloughy really needs to clear Benny Norton immediately. You've got Lee Horn trying to go up the inside of Poddy Flack. Lee Horn is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th car. He is the first Honda 63, the highest placed Honda so far tonight in tonight's race. And he's got Poddy Flack just ahead of him. They're all just hugging each other and kissing each other through that section. Benny Norton just takes a completely different line through there. Pavel McConan in third. This is top 3, 3 minutes to go. You have Shaw's User in the 99, followed by the number 50 of John Petra and Pavel McConan. These front three have not really made any progress against each other, but they have absolutely been nose to tail. Right, there's Martin Kirby down in the number 99 in 22nd place. He's been battling it out with Derek Neal in the 79, just ahead of him, and Roy Plummer, who's currently a CA3 champion leader at the moment. He's battling it out as well. The question is, can he do anything from here? I don't think he can. There's Tim Johnson in the 31. He's got all 4 wheels on his wagon. Perkis and Butcher. I'm not sure why Perkis is flashing his lights. He might tell us at some point in the future, but he's flashing his lights. He's saying, I'm coming, I'm coming. It could be he's on the radio. It could be a distraction technique. But there he is. There's Perkis in the 55. Perkis is faster than Butcher, who's currently in 11th, riding on board from the rear camera of Butcher. This is who we're riding on board on. He's in 11th position. There is 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. As we come now up to the right-hander into the hairpin. This is the left-hander, sorry. It's right on the screen. Then it's the hairpin. And Butcher just doesn't, he's got more confidence on the brakes, but at the moment he's keeping Jeff Perkis at bay. But Pavel McConan has caught up to the back of Jean Petra. So Jean Petra is currently in a 2nd position, riding on board with him now. There is Pavel McConan in 55. He's got 45 kilograms on board that car, and he is rapido. At the moment, he is keeping up with the front two. So Pavel McConan is in a perfect position that he will shave off ballast, only 5 kilos, but it's all he needs to do. Can he attack here? Can he do anything? I don't know. I think it's stationed. This is the last lap, including this one. Jamie Dory, I don't think he's going to do anything. He's holding 10th. Clough is up to 7th. It's good for him, but I would be putting my 50p on Jamie Dory for race 2 winner if it finishes as it does. Perkis, does he try to attack the back of Butcher? Perkis, he's that number 55. Alfa Romeo. Boom, there he is. He's chasing down the blue number 30 Hyundai i30, and in the back of him, that's the 91. That is Ola Johansson. Race winner here, so he knows what he's doing. Alex Ward is holding up to 15th. He is a race 3 master, so Perkis here could play his cards right, all depending on how they finish. But Shaw's User comes into the final section, and Pavel McConan has managed, in 3rd position, has managed to close it down, but I think he's just going to run out. He's just going to run out of time. It's this final drive as we get onto the rear corner now of Jean Petra. Look at the distance. Jean Petra can just get on the power earlier than Pavel McConan. So Shaw's takes a race victory, followed by his teammate Jean Petra. Pavel McConan takes 3rd, followed by Stu Neal, followed by Fraser Rostans crossing the line. Benny Norton then crosses the line. Michael Clough, watch him out for race 2. Am I going to put him into top 3? Yes. Is he going to be winner? Don't think so. Poddy Flack will be finishing 8th. Jamie Dory is 10th. Butcher is 11th, Perkis is 12th, Johansson is 13th. We're following through Derek Neal. He's going to cross the line. He's down in 20th position at the moment. It's a good result for him, riding on board with Martin Kirby. He's chasing down Derek Neal, but I don't think that's going to do anything. Carl Smith brings home the 25th. There is Bill Campion. He is actually done a stellar job, and he's within 5% now. So the last three are all within 5%. So there is provisional race results. Shaw's Usa, followed by Jean Petra, followed by McConin, Neil, Rostance, Norton, Clough, Flack, Horner, Dory, Butcher, Perkis, Johansson, Ward, Greville in Portugal, Deek, South, Neil, Kirby, Plummer, Smith, Campion, and Tim Johnson. And that's how it stacks up for race 1. Plenty of talking points for race 1 for tonight. Do I think race 2 is going to be action-packed? 100%. It's a small track, and they're all going to be fighting for those final race positions. So it's going to get very, very tasty, I think. It's going to get very, very exciting, and there's going to be a lot to discuss, as always. Right. Is it in the right place? Ooh, yeah, it is. As you can see, I haven't put the blind all the way down, so let's do that. A bit of shameless promoting. I am not promoted by them, but Oily Rag, fantastic T-shirts. Right, what a race. As expected, it's a classic racetrack, so the racing is always going to be quite muted, because you can't just go stoving into every corner that you want to, because it's just going to cause you problems, it's going to cause you issues. But again, as always, super exciting. Let's go across to the analysis and let's have a look what I picked up. It looks like I haven't picked anything up, which is always helpful in these situations. So we need to have a look at this PC. I should have really done this before we started streaming, but what you expect? We are a live stream. Here we go. Right, while that's I want to look at the race start. So this is the Pavel McConin incident. So we're just waiting for the server to sort itself out. As always, I'm going to click back and then go back into the multiplayer. It shouldn't take too long. There it is. Let's load straight back in. Click the yes button. Right, while we watch that on down there, we're going to go that way and we're going to have a quick look. So this is the start of the race. Now this is where it was the perfect start. Let's slow it down. The perfect start for Pavel McConin. So you want to be on the inside line here, because that will give you the perfect entry into turn 1. And if you're on the outside line, which is here, you're going to have to run wide. Now, if you watch Pavel here, he gets a perfect start. You'll always get natural bunching at the start of the race. So he gets an absolutely perfect start. Now, by the time you get to turn 1, he is alongside Jean Petra. So he's already past the point that to get the position he needs. But he has to be careful. So what he is going to do, he's going to take this, I need the squiggly line. He's going to take this line here. That's the line he's going to follow. And that will force Jean Petra onto the outside line. And that's what he does. He goes through, and you can see it here. He continues to go through this line here. Jean Petra actually cleverly has slowed the car down. He slowed it down here, and he's going to try and tuck into this gap here. Sorry for the crude drawing. And there you can see he gets in. There's a little bit of barging, as you're always going to get onto the first corner. Pavel capitalizes on that, so he goes through. So by this point, Pavel is now in the lead. But crucially, Shaw's has the momentum, so he can drive the car to that angle, which means he will have the inside to the next corner. Pavel will have to give him room, which is what happens. He comes across, gives him enough room, so there's nothing untoward there. The next is a left-hand corner. Shaw's hasn't given up yet. He's still there. He's still thinking of it. Pavel, a little bit of a touch there. So if we just wind that back, there's a tiny touch here. Anything in that? No, not really, because the B pillar is there. Shaw's is entitled to that bit of road. Pavel knows that. A little bit of a tap. Nothing untoward there. So 100% no penalty. Pavel then tries to... So Pavel now has the advantage. He now has the advantage for the corner. But the problem he's got is because he's going to basically come into that corner, Shaw's, he just takes too much curb. So this curb here is quite a nasty curb, and you'll watch Pavel just bounces across the curb, and at that point, it's too late. Now, Pavel was very, very lucky. Is that he managed to, the next corner was a hairpin. So Pavel re-enters. He's got no other choice but to re-enter at that point. Stu Neal gives him enough room. For me, cracking start from all three of them. No penalties, to be perfectly honest. From me, I mean, Pavel could have left a bit enough room, fair enough. But do you know what? Shaw's could have left a little bit more room in the corner one. So for me, there's no penalty. It's tough, but fair racing for me. Biggest loser out of that was Pavel. One tiny mistake. And that was Pavel. That was Pavel done basically. So, yeah, for me, there was nothing. There was nothing in that, to be perfectly honest. It is what it is the way I'd read that one. This was the little tap that we saw from the back of Fraser. Well, I thought I saw from the back of Fraser Rostance, but I didn't. Yeah, again, it's tough but fair racing. Nothing really in that one, to be honest. They're only 15 seconds long now. I've shortened them down a bit. Yeah, nothing in that, I don't think, really. I don't think there's anything really in this one, no. So there was one. This is the one where we're going down the straight and they have to be careful. So this is what got Poddy a penalty at Watkins Glen. Now, he got a penalty because there was contact with Pavel. There are many different viewpoints on whether you believe it was right or wrong. You know, that's for them to decide. But this is where the drivers have to be careful, because Jamie Dorey has got an absolutely superb toe coming down the main straights, down here, on the back of Benny Norton. Benny Norton is the car in front. Now, Fraser Rostance has figured this out, and if you actually look at Fraser, so there's the two car. If you look at Fraser cleverly figured this out and goes like this, right down there. The problem happens, if we wind it forward a little bit more, is that. So what you'll see here is Jamie Dorey basically cuts right in front of Fraser Rostance. Now, the bit we don't see is the aerial shot. So the aerial shot would determine whether or not that was a tricky move, basically. Because as soon as you get to that section, the braking zones are about here. So the cars are already starting the braking zone, but Jamie Dorey doesn't start the braking. He's actually ahead. So he's actually ahead of Rostance and aligned, and then brakes there. We don't see the gap. It does look like there is a car, you know, half a car's width there. So do I think there's anything in that? No. Do I think it's a borderline? Yes. But I would say no penalty. If it was ever flagged up, would it be a warning? Probably not. It's one of those, if there was contact, it would be serious. But, you know, at the end of the day, Rostance looked like he knew it was going to happen. He had that, you know, they're running that close together. So I don't think there's anything in that. If I'm honest, I think it's just one of those things. I don't think it would be submitted, but if it was very un-incident related from what we looked at, if I'm honest. So I don't think there's anything in that, to be honest. Let's load this up. What we got here. So yeah, this is just the braking zones, basically. Because you're running in a pack of cars like this, they're all going to brake slightly earlier, and unfortunately, the Hondas, which is here, just can brake a lot later. So yeah, I don't think there's anything in it, to be perfectly honest. I think a bit of bunching. Benny Norton takes a weird line. If you actually look at Benny Norton's line through here, he always runs wide out and then comes back in. Do I think there's anything in that? No, I don't. So all in all, I think it was a very clean race from what we saw, to be honest. Race 2, I think, is going to be a bit more action-packed. Race 3 is anybody's guess, to be perfectly honest. But it is going to be exciting. So I'm your commentator. That's me. I am Andy Pawley. I am here with you for the next 2 races, probably till about 9:45. We are at ZANDVOORT. We are on the national circuit. 11 turns, 7 right, 4 left. RACEROOM cost is 342 of your English pennies. Jurla Hansen and Tadashi are previous winners. You can now add Shaw's Yusa to that list as well. Race 2, who do I think is going to be race 2? It's going to be one of the Next Gen Racing boys. One of the Next Gen Racing boys, I believe, will be your race 2 winners. Which one? I don't know. That's what's going to make it super exciting. It's going to be very, very tough, I think, on who I think. Yeah, I put it down to one of the Next Gen Racing boys. If Michael Clough can clear Poddy, which he might. So Poddy is in the Astra, and he's going to start on the 2nd row. But more importantly, he will be on the inside to the first corner. So I think the Next Gen Racing boys are just going to, in those Hondas, I think they're just going to hit the brakes, basically. They're going to block the field and just go for it. If Michael Clough needs to clear Poddy Flack within 2 laps, and he needs to clear one of the Next Gen Racing boys pretty much a lap after. Because if he doesn't, then it's going to be game over, I think. It'll be 100% game over for Cloughy. He's lost a lot of balance now because he started in 6th position, so he's carrying less ballast than he needs to. Pavel Makonin's going to have 40 kilograms on board that car. Shaw's Yusa will have the maximum ballast. So that's going to be tricky. Nice to see you, Angus. Shame you're not racing with us tonight. I can't remember if I saw you on the Discord. No, I didn't see you on the Discord. Shame you're not racing with us. You had your first race with us. Absolutely sensational job there from Angus. It's a real shame you're not racing with us, but that's just how it is sometimes. Neil Proctor, nice to see you. Not seen you before on stream. Welcome to the stream. Let us know who you're supporting. Yep, race 1 was 100% clean. I would not expect that for race 2 or 3, just because this is touring car, and let's be honest, when you get to race 3, it all just goes to pot. 40 seconds left before we get to race 2. I am your commentator. That's me, Andy Pawley. I did have hair then. But that's how we put it out. Next Gen Racing boys are 1st and 2nd. I would be putting my 50p on one of those 2 for race 1 victory, unless Michael Clough can clear Poddy Flack within the first 2 laps. Otherwise, he's going to have a tall order to get past the drivers. Here we go. Get ready. The lights are all going to go green. Everyone is going to be getting ready to go into that turn 1. We will keep you through the action for the next 15 minutes of race 2. Lights out, and away we go. Straight to the helicam. Who's had a perfect start? Pavel Makonin is going to get past. Is he side by side with the man in front? Yes, he is. That's going to be tricky. But there goes the 2 fast moving Next Gen Racing boys. Poddy Flack is side by side now with Michael Clough. He's going to have to really look at this if he wants to get this done, and he's done it. He's done what he needs to do. Benny Norton's got Fraser Rostance for company. There's Rostance in that number 7. It's a little bit of argy-bargy in the background, but that's always going to happen on race 1. Fraser Rostance tries to go up the inside. Benny Norton ran a bit wide. Do I think there's anything in that? No, I don't. It's always going to be like that. Where's the two race 1 and race 2 victors? There they are. There's Jeff Perkis fighting the back of Butcher. I say he's fighting the back of Butcher. He's on the side of Butcher. Butcher's tried to send it up the inside there, but all he got was a bucket full of side door. That hasn't helped him. Butcher's in that number 30. Perkis is in the 55. Alfa Romeo. There he is. There's Perkis. He's in 12th position, riding on board with him now. But Jamie Dory and Lee Horn. Pavel McConin is on the back of Stu Neal. Pavel McConin in the 55. Roy South is side by side with Plummer. South is that number, is the Hyundai. Plummer is the number 8. This is the Basel 4. 16th and 17th. Holding it on, but Rob South just holds on to that from the rear camera, riding on board. Jamie Dory, new fastest lap, 1:23.387. Fraser Rostance is trying to go up the inside of Benny Norton. So is Pavel McConin. He's trying to go around the outside of the man ahead, but that's just not going to work there. Pavel McConin just needs to calm it down 2 seconds, and Stu Neal, he's a bit all over the road at the moment. He just needs to watch himself, because otherwise it is going to be masses of penalties for him. But at the moment, Michael Clough is right on the tail of Lee Horn. This is the battle for lead. Jamie Dory's leading in that Honda, followed by another Honda, followed by a Renault Megane. There he is, the number 33, championship leader. Do not forget. So he wants to get a race 3 victory because he's maximising as many points as he can take here. But what can he do? Martin Kirby, Craig Deeks retired already. This is the battle for 19th. Martin Kirby, left side in that 99. That 96, that's Bill Campion. His teammate Craig Deek has retired. First retirement of the race. 12 minutes to go through the left side. You can see Royal Plumber, Anastasios, all side by side. Anastasios in that 86 Honda. Does he get it done? Riding now on board with Roy Plummer. He's attacking the man ahead and defending from Anastasios, who's side by side. Michael Clough. They're all just going faster. Rostance, new fastest lead. There goes Pavel McConin up the inside of Stu Neal. He's going to have to be brave to go through there. Stu Neal's going to have to give him just enough car's width. Absolutely sensational there from Stu Neal and Pavel McConin. Pavel needs to be careful he doesn't launch it through that curve again. He tried to take too much of the candy last time out, and all he got was a broken chocolate orange. So he's got to be careful. He really has to think about this. There's Pavel McConin, current second in the championship, in the number 55, his lead championship rival. Michael Clough is trying to go around the outside of Lee Horn. There's contact. Fraser Rostance, we only saw that last bit on stream. I think he was trying to go up the inside. He's more confidence. He's got so much more confidence than the other two, but there's a lot of scruffiness going on there from Rostance. He has that ability in the car. He's a quick driver. He just needs to be a little bit calmer, go a little bit slower, and he'll go a little bit faster. He needs to go defensive now. So Rostance has got himself up to 5th position. There is Benny Norton. He's in 6th, riding on board now of Benny Norton. He is being attacking. Jamie Dory fastest, 1:15. Look at Rostance in that number 7. Pavel McConin is going to try to go around the outside. There's contact. It's contact. I think that was all Stu Neal. I think that was Stu Neal caused that massive accident. We did get that on replay. We will have a look, and Pavel McConin is licking his chops. He's up to 6th position. This is perfect for his championship because his nearest rival, Michael Clough, is in 3rd. Has that mistake from, I believe it was Stu Neal, we'll have a look post-race. Did that cost him? That's going to be very, very tricky to see. We will see that post-race. Alex Ward is in 14th. If this man stays here, he will be my race 3 winner. Pretty sure he's going to take that for the team. Ross Butcher is on the back because there's Jean Petra. Jean Petra in the number 50 has got genuine front damage to the car. That isn't damage in the sense that the game had a massive accident. Bowl by itself, it's just had damage, and that's going to be hurting him. The question is all his wheels on his wagon pointing in the right direction? This is what we're going to have to look at. Look at the steering. Lee Horn, new fastest lap, a 1:15.862. But his wheels pointing in the right direction. Pavel McConin, you're not going to go around the outside of Fraser Rostance. That's just not going to happen there. He's going to have to commit to this and try and force Rostance. Rostance is a wily old fox. He leaves him just enough room. Does he keep his foot in? Yes, he does. Absolutely sensational from these two. They're side by side. Gets the job done 100%. Pavel Makonnen is up to 5th. He's 1 position behind his nearest championship rival, but Rostance hasn't given it up. Rostance has gone full commitment, and he's committed himself to... Where's he gone? He's checked himself out. He's 100% just gone off to get a McFlurry. Cannot believe it from Rostance. He was on, you just saw it. He just took too much speed. I don't know if he's got the red mist. He's a fast driver. He just needs to slow down a little bit, and he will go faster. But he's now got Shaw's User all over his rear end. His teammate, which is the number 50 of Jean Patra, damaged in that opening sector. So he's properly struggled from that. Through into the final corner we go. We still have 8 minutes and 31 seconds remaining. They're all going to be getting themselves ready now. They're all going to be just holding on. Benny Norton, you're not going to go up the inside of Pavel Makonnen. He's a wily old fox from there. Where's Rostance? Rostance is defending from Shaw's User. I think Rostance, he could be struggling with the tyres at this moment. We don't run 2 times tyre wear, but it is open setups. And that Peugeot is strong in sectors 1 and 2, but it doesn't have the drive down the straight. There's no ballast on Rostance's car, so he's just got to calm himself down. Kirby and South, this is the battle at the back for 19th and 18th as we ride on board now with Martin Kirby. There's Rob South. Teammates, don't forget to Russ Butcher, who's in 11th. Russ is kind of having a game of all to himself. Shaw's User... not sure what happened there, but Shaw's User has lost out to Jean Petra. Fraser Rostance has now cleared that, and he's on the back of Stu Neal. There's Stu Neal in that number 30. His teammate is Michael Clough, who's got himself up into 2nd position. A mistake there from Lee Horn, so Michael Clough is now on the move. 7 minutes to go. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's got the lap time in the car, because Jamie Dory is pumping out 1:16.5. Well, no, he is. He's 0.2 of a second. He's 0.2 of a second faster, but Lee Horn in that number 63 has to keep him busy. Jeff Perkis in that 55, side by side there with Butcher. I said Butcher wasn't having a race with anybody. He blinking is. There's Alex Ward in the number 7 behind that. Ola Johansson. He's in the 91, in that middle of the pack. 3rd car in the row. 1, 2, 3. It's all starting to kick off. Lee Horn's on the back of Michael Clough. It's that Honda is mighty, but Cloughy is not making any progress. Rostance riding on board now with Rostance. He's in 8th position, riding on board with him. There's the 34 of Stu Neal. That was very, very naughty there from Rostance. You'd have to look at the braking points to see whether to determine it was an early break or not, but he needs to be careful, because he could be racking himself up a number of points here if he doesn't just calm himself down a little bit. He needs to reset now between races 2 and 3. He is a fast driver. He's quick. We've seen this before. He was stellar at race 3 last time out. So he's got the power. He's got the means. He just needs to calm it down a little bit. Michael Clough currently doesn't really have made a difference. Alex Ward is on the back of Ola. There's Ola riding on board with him now. Can't miss this guy. He's in 13th. There is 14th of Alex Ward. Can he do anything now? Alex Ward, he's mighty on the brakes, but not enough to get anything done. Poddy Flack is attacking the back of Horn. Pavel Makonnen, there he is, second in the championship, currently just in the middle. Not really pushing anyone from here. He's just kind of on his own. Kirby has gone off the road with 5 minutes remaining. It's all settling in now in race 2. They've all spread themselves out. The question is, are they managing their tyres? Are they just carefully managing fuel loads? Are they just looking out for everybody? Michael Clough there, he's not making any real difference. He hasn't got that gap really under a second at any point. So he's fluctuating between 1 to 1.2. So he's going to have to get a move on if he wants to go faster. Jeff Perkis is on the back of Butcher. These two have just been stuck together like glue for the entire race. Now watch out for Perkis, because he will crucially have the inside. So he needs to think tactically here about where he wants to finish the race, because if Perkis finishes in 12th, he'll be on the wrong side of the grid. He needs to be on the other side of the grid. Rostance is going for a move on Neal. I don't think that's going to ham out. Perkis is going to go after Butcher. Butcher's in the number 30. Perkis, he just needs to hold this, really. He's going for the old switcheroo. Doesn't get it. He's not going to get it through there, really. With 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining of this race. The battles are on. I am keeping an eye on it at the moment, but Butcher is where it's at. Stuniel and Rostance is kind of phased out. Cloughy has got the gap now to a second, but he needs to get it under a second to get anywhere that he needs to be. We'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. Butcher riding on board with him now. You can see Alex Ward right from the back of the group. Down the brakes into the hairpin he goes. They're keeping it nice and tidy. Butcher is just a roadblock there. Butcher is the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth car in the line, and Butcher is just the roadblock to Perkis, Ola and Ward. So they're kind of stagnating at the moment. Perkis closes the gap, but then he loses it again. The Hyundai is just quicker through sectors 1 and 2. But 3, Perkis is on it, and you can see this here. When we ride on board now with Perkis down to that front camera, he just gets quicker and quicker and quicker. He gets a much better drive out of the final corner, and you can see he's gaining, and he's pushing it. He's pushing the car. So the question is now, what does he do? Can he go defensive? Can he hit the brakes? No, he can't, because Russ just gives him enough space, but not enough space to do it. You'd have to send it. The only way you do that is to send it, but you'd have to be on the inside. But look at the speed Perkis gets. Perkis just gets a much better drive. Perkis is in the Alfa Romeo, the number 55, the second white car. Boom, that one. He gets a much better drive through sectors 1 and 2, basically. But he doesn't get the drive out the corner. Butcher's gone a little wide. He's gone wide. Butcher's gone wide. He left the door open, and Perkis has gone full send. Has he got the job done? Does he get it done? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't, because Butcher's not going to let that up. Butcher's gone, well, if you go in there, it's been very scruffy now between both of them. Butcher's run him a little bit off-road there. That was very naughty there from Butcher, I think. We'll have a look. Butcher should have left him a car's width. That is the rule. He was up the inside. That's Shaw's user has gone off the road. He must have damaged the car. How has he damaged this car? He is not in a happy place right now. He's down to 14th. Is he trying to go? Now, there could be tactical play here. He could be going for 15th. Right, Pavel Makonin, second in the championship, is up to 5th position. This is the difference, because he's got 40 kilograms of ballast on board that car. Look how much faster he's going now. His nearest championship rival, Michael Clough, is in 3rd position. So it's crucial that Poddy keeps him behind. They're not part of the same team, but they are part of the same works garage. So it's going to be very, very important that he keeps him just ahead. Now, Pavel's going to try and send this as much as he can. He's going to do everything he can, but Poddy is one of the best defenders I've seen, so we'll watch that as that unfolds. Carl Smith in 20th. There he is, and the Alfa Romeo goes wide, and Tim Johnson follows him through, but he's side by side. Tim Johnson has gone up the inside, but has he got the job done? No, he's got a very dented car, but is it dented enough to cause him any hassles? I'm not sure. Slides it through into the hairpin. Does he get it done? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. No, slow down. Yeah, he does, because Carl Smith has an accident all by himself, goes off into the distance. There will be one more lap, including this one, and that will be race over. The question is, Michael Clough has been passed by Lee Horn. Michael Clough made a mistake, and Lee Horn's just mugged him, which is not good. This is not good for his championship position, because there's Pavel Makonin. Pavel is right behind him in 5th position, one car between the two drivers. So that's really going to hurt him in the final lap. Does Pavel manage to get past Poddy? He's going to have to be very careful here, because he does not want a penalty going into this final corner. Oh! Pavel Makonin has been absolutely punted there by Benny Norton. Now the question was, what caused that incident? Now it's the final lap. That's in my book, that would be a warning. That's very naughty there from Benny Norton. He has just pummeled the back of Pavel. Did it really compromise him losing any positions? No. Did it cause him to? No. So at best there'd be a warning there for Benny Norton, but they just need to be careful there. They need to be careful because Jamie Dorey, like I said, odds-on favourite, will cross the line and take a race victory. Race 2 at where are we? Somewhere we're racing. Followed by Lee Horn, Michael Clough, followed by Poddy Flack, Pavel Makonin. Stellar drive from him. Benny Norton In 5th position, Stu Neal. We will look at that incident again that we saw. Fraser Rostan, Jean Petra, Butcher, Perkis holds on to 11th. Yola, Alex Ward, Shaw's user is 14th. I would now put him for race 3 victory. Top 15 are reversed. Portugal, followed by Anastasios, Roy Plummer, South, Kirby, bringing home, being nose to tail with Rob South the entire race. There's Bill Campion in 21st for Rusty Spanner Racing. Good finish for him, nearly breaking into the top 20 as well. And again, solid lap times from him. He's got quicker. He's actually got quicker. He was 1:19 on the last time out. He's now 1:18. Absolutely fantastic. There is results. There is your provisional race results for race 2. Jamie Dorey, race winner, followed by Lee Horn, followed by Clough, Flack, McConin, Norton, Neal, Rostance, John Petra, Butcher, Perkis, Ola, Ward, Shaw's, Portugal, Anastasios, Plummer, South, Kirby, Neal, Campion, Stephen Smith, Tim, and Craig Deeks was a DNF. So he gets 0 points. It will be a top 15 reversal for race 3. It's going to be super exciting, if I'm honest. We will try and stick with this as long as we can, because we do tend to have some issues when we go from race 2 to race 3. But we will see now. If it doesn't come back up again, then I will be logging out the game super quick and logging back in really fast to see what happens. But what a race. What an absolutely stellar race. I did genuinely think it was going to be a lot more action-packed than that in terms of incidents and accidents, but in the general, it looked like normal touring car racing to me. There is one incident I do want to look at, but we'll just wait until we get back into the lobby. There it is. So I just have to wait, and it will reset itself. This does happen to me every so often. It just goes through its cycle. We will wait until it gets to the warm-up, and then we will be able to re-enter. As you will see here, there we go. We hit that button. And hopefully we can re-enter it. It does tend to happen. It's just the way that RACEROOM is sometimes. You just have to be on your ball. But that was an absolute sensational race. Properly loved that. ZANDVOORT is a classic track. And a classic track will always present those classic type of races in terms of incidents and accidents. Right, let's go across. Does it actually load up? Come on. Come on. It hasn't loaded up. Let's go back to the other feed and go back to that feed. Right, there is one incident I really, really want to look at, which is... it didn't delete any of these. Well, that's nice, isn't it? Which was the incident of Neal. Now, the question is, where was that incident? So one of these was the incident. I think it was that one. I think this was the incident. Let's have a look. Yeah, so this is the incident. So let's slow it down a bit. So there's Stu Neal in the 34. Now, it's always going to be tricky going into turn 1, basically. So as he goes into turn 1, I don't know if he just gets his braking point wrong. Yeah. So he just doesn't brake at the right point. So the apex is... Let's move this forward. The apex is here. And Neal, for whatever reason, just goes here and creates... Yeah, Yeah, because Benny Norton's on the outside line, Fraser Rostance is on the inside line, and Stu Neal is on a collision. Yeah, it is. Yeah. If that's raised, to me, that's a clear-cut penalty. There's not a lot I can really say to that, to be honest. He just, yeah. Now, the only thing that he's lucky with... Yeah, the only thing that he's lucky with, really... Ross Stance doesn't lose anything. Benny Norton doesn't lose... Well, he does. So... yeah... It's a bit odd. If it's submitted, there would be a penalty for that, because he's gone in too deep and he's made contact. And for me, that's exactly the same as, it's in the same ballpark as Kozlov and Dory. It's in that same incident. It isn't the opening lap. It's 5 minutes into the race. I believe the penalty, if there was one applied, would be, the severity is different, but I can't see all the data, so I can only see what I've got on the screen. But for me, I believe it's positions lost would be the penalty that would be applied to that. So if it's submitted, do I think Stu Neal's got a penalty coming his way? Yes, probably. Fraser Rostance can't really submit anything on that because he profited it from it. Pavel Makonin profited from it. The only one that really lost out was Benny Norton, to be honest. The other two, well, no, the other one that did lose out as well was Jean Petra. So Jean Petra is this car here, and that's how he ended up with that front end damage. So, yeah, for that one, it's a case of half a dozen of one. To me, for me, it would be a penalty for Stu Neal, and its positions lost, I believe, which is in the rules. But again, it's if it's submitted, and again, I can only see what I see in here on that one. Right, so this is race 2 start. Again, it was an absolutely sensational start from the two boys at the front, which they did. So these are the next gen racing boys, and that's what I said. This is exactly what I said they needed to do. So your race 1, so if we actually wind this back, by the point that they've got basically to the end of the pit, the rear gunner has gone into place, which is Lee Horn. Lee Horn has done the perfect job there. He's gone straight defensive. He's got the perfect start, and that enables Jamie Dory to build that 1 second gap he needs to keep this man from getting the position and winning the race. So those two did a perfect tactical start. Poddy Flack there breaks a bit early. That catches Benny off. So Poddy catches here, breaks a bit early. That catches Benny. No real effect there. Rostance is mighty on the brakes into that corner, and they all just kind of go through there. Yeah, nothing really into that. It was a absolutely sensational start to that race. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff from that. Again, we can only ever see, as I always say, I can only ever see races with what I've got, so that might change. Right, we've got 30 seconds. We will go over to race before the final race of the inning. Top 15 reversal. Who do I put my money on? Shaw's User. That's where I'm putting my 50p. Shaw's User needs to clear the 55 I forgot the guy's name. Of the 55. Whoever's driving the 55 he needs to clear, which is Portugal Rodriguez. He needs to clear him going into that opening corner. If he can do that, he will be race 3 winner. I'm pretty sure of it. Watch the lights at the top. Let's see how this unfolds. And it's lights out and away we go. And Yola Johansson has had the perfect start. He's managed to keep Shaw's User behind him. Alex Ward on the right side has gone perfectly. He's gone defensive. He's going left. He's going right. Does he get the job done? 100% in the background. There's a little bit of a contact, but they are all sorting themselves out into turn 1. Ooh, a little bit of contact from Jean Petra. There he is in the number 50, but he's got something to prove. Can he do this? Can he deliver from this section? A little bit running wide there from Rostance. That's not what he needs. He needs to be a little bit smoother through that section. If he can sort himself out, get himself up into that top position. Absolutely sensational as they all sort themselves out. Oh, there's contact in the background. Oh, there's contact, not again, Michael Clough, but he's managed to swing himself round and get himself back behind Pavel Makonin. It's Stu Neal is the one who's been hindered there. That's not what he needs. There's Pavel Makonin up to 10th position, started near enough down the back of the grid, so he's going to have to be very, very careful. 23 drivers currently on the racetrack, but Shaw's User is in first, followed by Alex Ward, followed by Jeff Perkis, Any three of those could win the race, and Jean Petra has joined the party mix. Portugal Rodriguez started first. He's down to fourth. There's Rostance in the middle of that field. What can he do from here? He's riding on board now with Rostance. He's in seventh position. Just ahead of him is Jola Johansson. He's won this race before. What can he do? Fastest lap, Shaw's User, 124.209. It's going to be hard to beat at the front. Hard to beat. Benny Norton. There he is in the middle of that pack. There he is the Astra. Boom, that one. He's endless all the time. The question is he going to end this race as that Butcher's run a little bit wide in the 30. That's allowed the Opel Astra, that one, to go up the inside, but not enough. Absolutely sensational stuff through the right side into the hairpin, down the gearbox. Oh, there's contact there from Butcher and Rostance. Those two are stuck together like glue, but look at Pavel Makonnen in that 55. He has got the bit between his teeth. He's going to have to be very, very clever. Yeah, you're always going to have to be careful going through that section. But he's got to leave a car's width, which he does. So Benny Norton is going to get mugged here by Pavel Makonnen. Pavel in that 55, he's going to go up the inside. Whoa! Butcher, I believe, started that entire incident, and that's what caused a little bit of endless, and that's cost Benny Norton that position, which is really going to hurt him in his championship position. But at the moment, Shaw's User is just blopping in the fastest laps, 116.131. But look at that middle field. Rostance, Benny Norton, Pavel Makonnen. What does he do go through here? There's Stu Neal. Can he do anything? Poddy Flack is trying to go up the inside there of Jamie Dory. There's Jamie Dory in the number 18. Race 2 winner. Going on the outside of the Astra. That's not going to work around there. He's got to set him up. He's got to set him up coming out the final corner, because he's not going to do it anywhere else. Riding on board now with Jamie Dory, he's in 13th. There is Michael Clough riding on board now from Poddy Flack. You can see the cars behind, all nose to tail. Oh, there's contact in the back there. That's very rough from Jamie Dory. He doesn't lose anything from that position, but he doesn't gain anything, so I don't think there would be a penalty for that. Maybe a warning, but really no penalty. I think it's one of those things, it's just a little bit of bunching. You're always going to get that in a reverse race grid from 15 for race 3. You have to expect that. But it's a classic style of track, so there are overtaking opportunities. But when you attack, you have to be careful you don't lose out at the same time. Race leader, Shaw's User, 1.3 second. Alex Ward is trying to go for another podium position. Jeff Perkis up to third, but he's got the fast-moving Jean Petra right behind him. There he is in that number 50 in the background. Butcher and Pavel Makonnen is not going to go right. He is. He gives him a little love tap, just lets him know he's there. But has Pavel Makonnen managed to get that done? Right, Alex Ward is being hounded here by Jeff Perkis and Jean Petra. This is second position. There is third. There is fourth. And they are all hounding each other at this moment. The question is, who is going to be the one to take that position? Who is going to be the one to be the podium position? Jean Petra is trying to go around the outside. Whoa, Alex Ward there. Didn't think he was there, but he was. And that was, I don't think there was anything in that, to be honest. I wouldn't call that anything. Jeff Perkis just tapped the brakes a little bit. Benny Norton is trying to get past Butcher. He's finally got past Butcher, so has Pavel Makonnen. There's Jeff Perkis. He's fighting Alex Ward. Alex Ward is in second position. There is third. That is Jeff Perkis. Behind that is Jean Petra. It is 3 different manufacturers, and it's actually 2 different nationalities, all trying to vie for that podium to be the blah, 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 blah. That's what I was saying, and that's what I meant. And this is riding on board now with Jean Petra. He is absolutely turning the wick up. The question is, can he go defensive? No, he doesn't. Does he go on the attack? No, he doesn't. Perkis went defensive, and then he's had to creep himself back up behind Alex Ward. Alex Ward's saving grace here is that Jean Petra and Perkis should keep themselves busy for the next 2 halves of the race. There's a massive queue forming now behind Butcher. There is Butcher, and as we ride on board from Butcher, look at all of them. I'm not quite sure where Jamie Dory went. He just went into the barrier. Has he damaged the car? That's the problem. Because if he's damaged the car, he's going to basically lose out on a whole host of positions. But Butcher, in that number 30 Hyundai, is a massive block. Pavel should get past Ola. Ola's in the 91, Pavel's in the 55. There's a little bit of a tap between both of them as he's trying to come across. Job done. Pavel gets himself up into 6th position. His next target is Rodrigue Portugal in that 55. Was started the grid. He should get that done. That should be a no-brainer. Fraser Rostans has retired 23rd, so Roy Plummer brings up the field on 22nd. Bill Campion is in top 20. He's going to be ecstatic with that. He's just got to keep it on the tarmac. Butcher, there's Poddy Flack riding now back from Butcher. You can see this is Butcher. He's just got everybody behind him. Poddy is going to try and send him up the inside, but I think that old switcheroo won't work. Jamie Dory, what can he do here? There's Jamie Dory in the number 18, tries to go around the outside. Dory is trying to push it, but he's so much more confidence on the brakes. He's so much quicker, those Jamie Dory and Lee Horn in those Hondas, but there's just some little mistakes creeping in. He just needs to go a little bit back. Alex Ward still holding into 2nd position. Shaw's User has checked himself out at the front, 2.6 seconds ahead. But Alex is not racing Shaw's really. He is racing to get points for the CA2 championship. That's what he wants, and that's all he needs to do. Jean Petra is just holding himself up. Pavel Makonin, but there you can see in the front, Butcher has now got Poddy Flack. This should be job done, really, for Butcher. Yeah, Butcher, job done. He's been left out to dry there. So Poddy Flack has now got past him. The next target will be Stu Neal and Michael Clough, the 33 and 34s. Little Peugeot, little Renault Megans. So it will be those two that will be now pushing to try and get past. Now they're running out of time. It's 7 minutes to go, so it's going to be very, very tricky now to see what they can do from here as we ride on board now with Stu Neal. But Jamie Dory is side by side with Michael Clough. I say side by side, he's right rear end. This is Jamie Dory. Behind him is Lee Horn, his teammate. They're all trying to get past Butcher. The problem is, does Butcher do anything? No, he doesn't. The two teammates nearly collide with each other. The two Renaults, the 34, 33, there they are. Not that one, the two black Renaults. Boom, there they are. They nearly collided with each other, but they've managed to hold on through the left, long, sweeping left-hander we go, over the top of the crest of the hill, riding now on board from the back of Butcher. This is the battle for 10th. They're all fighting for 10th position, but they're all stuck between Butcher. I think there's a position switch coming up here from Clough and Neal. Yes, there is. There is a position switch from Clough and Neal. And that's allowed Clough to try to go on the attack because he needs to go after Pavel. Because if he doesn't, Stu Neal's just lost out. That position switch did not work out. But it's released Michael Clough. That's what was key in that whole episode, was to allow Michael Clough to be released so he can make hay and get past Butcher and go after as many people as he can, because at the moment his championship lead is being slowly dwindling. Jeff Perkins is going after Alex Ward. Does he get it done? Alex Ward's left the door wide open for Perkins, but he's thinking of his championship here. Everyone would like to finish at the podium. Everyone would like to finish first, second or third. The problem is when you're leading the CA2 category, Alex Ward in that number 7 Peugeot just needs to cut. He's thinking of the long game now, and his rear gunner, Fraser Rostans, isn't driving at the moment, so he's retired from this race, so this man's on his own. But he doesn't really need to worry, really, because his nearest rival is nowhere near him, to be perfectly honest. So he's just got to play it cool, play it safe, and just bring the car home with points. What he can't afford is a DNF. Carl Smith is on the back of Derek Neal. I say on the back of Derek Neal. Derek Neal's, they've all just had an accident all by themselves. Roy Plummer has just mugged a lot of them and said thanks very much. Bill Campion has gone down from top 20 to 21st, so he's lost a position. So he's going to be a bit unhappy with that. But does he mug him as well? Yeah, so he's back to 21st, but near as enough makes no difference. But Pavel Makonin is now right on the back of Jean Petra. There's Jean Petra in the number 50. His teammate Jamie Dory, current fastest lap. Whoa, Jean Petra made a mistake there. Whoa, that's a warning if I ever saw one. He thought he had the opportunity to go up the inside, but he did back out. So I don't think there would be any penalty for that one, just probably because he backed out and he didn't gain, he didn't lose, and Jean Petra didn't get any damage. In fact, it actually hindered Pavel more than it did anybody else. So I think that will be a reset all over again. So through there's contact. Jean Petra has gone into the back of Alex Ward. What happened there? What happened there? We will have a look at that post-race. I did get that on stream and rewound it. I think Jean-Petre just had an accident all by himself, and that compromised Alex Ward, but that's put Alex Ward now right into the clutches of Pavel Makonin, which is not where he wanted to be. He needed Jean-Petre behind him, and he's making mistakes now. He just needs to calm it down. He needs to calm it down to go faster. But look at this queue. This massive train of queue, which starts at the back with Anastasios and goes all the way from 14th. And look at that. There is Alex Ward. He's just let Pavel Makonin through. He's let Pavel Makonin through. That's a very wise choice, I think. There's Ola and Portugal. There's Benny Norton trying to go around the outside, but Ola just mugs the lot of them, says thank you very much. Goes ticks the box. I think that was a clever move there from Alex Ward. I think he's thinking of that championship. But they're 2 by 2. This is where it is. Benny Norton will have the inside. He's been tagged by Podiflak, who got tagged by Ola, who tagged Norton, and that just kicked all of this off. And they are just all stuck together. There is the 33 of Michael Clough right at the back of this field. Oh, there's contact. There's contact between everybody. It's all kicked off right towards the end of the race with 2 minutes 34 to go. How many people finish the race? No, Clough is out. Michael Clough is out. Ole Johansson is out. Rostance is out. Tim Johnson is in the stratosphere. It's all kicked off. So this is a huge win for Pavel Makonin with 2 minutes 16 seconds to go. He's absolutely held onto that as much as he needs to do. It's 2 minutes and 6. He's going to be top 3. He will be, I'm pretty sure he'll be leading the championship after this race, because a DNF from Michael Clough is not what he wants. Pavel has just done everything he needs to do. It's 1 minute 15 seconds to go. It's 2 laps remaining. Benny Norton is on the back of Portugal Rodriguez. Rodriguez Portugal. Got the name wrong round. Sorry, Portugal. Got your name wrong round. So he's on the back. Anastasios on the back of Podiflak. Anastasios in that Honda is having a great race at the moment. He's in the 86. That car was shared by Alec, who no longer races at the moment, unfortunately. So that's really going to hurt him in terms of his ability, in terms of what he needs to do. So he's up to 9th and he's doing a stellar job. He might be able to mug Benny Norton, Podiflak, but we'll see how that unfolds through the rest of the race. It's going to be a sensational finish towards the end. Riding on board now with Benny Norton, he's attacking the back of Rodrigo Portugal. Sorry, Rodrigo. You can shout at me later. Benny Norton's trying to go, as he's not going to do anything. He's got to get a drive off the final corner. That's how he has to do it. If he can get a good drive off the final corner, he can win. He can get past him. Yeah, he's done it. That's all he needs to do. Has he got the job done? This is the question. I think Portugal saw that coming. Has given him an entire car's width plus half a car, and he's got the job done. It's game over, really, as we go on to the final lap of this evening's races. Shaw's Usa is going to bring the car home. We'll follow him through. I'll keep an eye on the board as it unfolds, but there's Jeff Perkis. Pavel Makonin did close the gap to 0.8 of a second, but I don't think he's got it any further at the moment. As it unfolds, Anastasios is on the back of Podiflak. What can he do from here? Through the right-hander we go. This is the hairpin. I don't think Anastasios is going to get Podiflak unless something happens as we get to the end of the race. I think it's going to be settle in and tick that box. There's Shaw's Usa coming home to take a race victory in race 3. He's going to be absolutely ecstatic with that victory. So he's done the double tonight. He's done a race 1 victory and a race 2 victory. There's Jeff Perkis bringing the car home in 2nd position. Pavel Makonin, fantastic race for him. Alex Ward will extend his lead in the CA2 category. Jean-Petre, I believe, had an accident by himself. Benny Norton, followed by Portugal, Flack, Anastasios. Stu Neal, Butcher, Craig Deeks, Lee Horn, Stephen, Roy Plummer. Good result for him, actually. Martin Kirby, who we're following across the line in that 99. He brings the car home. There is, just ahead of them, is Carl Smith. This is Bill Campion. Brings the car home in 18th. He'll be proper happy with that. 18th finish, his highest finish so far this season. in order to finish, first you have to finish. There is Derek Neal in 19th. He's the last of the cars running, unless Tim Johnson's still going. No, Tim Johnson is in the stratosphere. And then you've got Fraser Rostans. Where's Rob South gone? Did not finish. Okay. Clough, Hansen, Johnson and Rostans are DNFs. Provisional race results, as always, shows you race 1 winner and race 3 winner and race 1 winner, Jamie Dorey. Jamie Dorey, fastest lap. It's just one of those things sometimes. Right, probably, let's have a look on the chat. Nice to see you on stream. Neil, great teamwork letting Jeff through. Yeah, 100%. 100%. But you have to think of these things now, because the championship isn't won by just going fast anymore. You have to be tactical as well. Probably affecting his braking after that initial rear ending. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that. I don't know if I've got that on stream, but we will have a look. We'll have a look at how that unfolded. Right. Let's go across to the replay. Let's do some replay action, and then we will have a quick look. There's the start. It was all a bit scruffy, I think, to be honest. It was just a bit scruffy in terms of that race, but it will always be a bit scruffy, I think, just because that's the way the race is. I'm trying to find the Jean Petra thing. Yeah, so the Jean Petra had an accident all by himself. So that's Jean Petra, and he was keeping Pavel behind so Alex Ward could stay in top 3. But he just goes off into the distance. He has an incident all by himself. Like, I'm not even sure what he just, I don't know, he just went off into the distance. So he completely, it looks like he just completely missed his braking zone. Alex Ward then had an incident. I think he was tabbed by the back of, yeah. So again, you'd have to look at the camera angles and more of the camera angles. But he essentially, I think Alex was tabbed by the back of Jean Petra. Pavel, you can see, just slams the brakes on here, right there. He just slams the brakes on to not make contact with the back of Ward, which is a very clever move. I don't think there's anything in that, to be honest. He had an incident all by himself. Nobody lost out. It's very scruffy. It is what it is, I think, on that one, perfectly honest. I don't know why I got on some of these. There's so much going on. So this is the incident. So what? Okay, so this is where it gets a bit tricky. So this is Ola here. Now, if you watch Ola's car, so if we slow this down, there is a tab there. So I think it's Lee Horn. So Lee Horn tabs the back of the car, and that's what causes the incident. That's what causes the whole incident to happen. Because that contact then pushes Ola, basically front goes that way, back goes that way, and everyone's a passenger at that point. Yeah. But I'm not sure why Michael Clough retired. So, again, you'd need more on boards for that one. But I would say, see, that one's quite a tough one. You'd have to look at the onboards, because what we don't see in this camera angle is if Ola lost the back end before Lee Horn got there, or Ola lost the back end because Lee Horn tabbed the back of him. So, do I think the ultimate thing is, from my perspective, with this camera angle, do I think there's a penalty? Yes, I do think there's a penalty. Who I think the penalty goes to, you'd have to, it's tough. Using the camera angle that I've got here, it would be Lee Horn. But I could only say that because of the contact here. You see, there's a little tab there. Now, arguably, the door was open because Ola is going this way and the door is open. But he's not all the way over on the apex. So it's not I don't know. It's not a racing incident for me because it's a corner and he's gone for that move. The question is, if Ola lost the rear end before Lee Horn arrived, Ola should in theory have the penalty there. If Ola lost the rear end because Lee Horn hit the back of Ola, Lee Horn would get the penalty. But what I don't see, or what we don't have, is the aerials. We don't have the onboards. We've only got this camera angle here. So I think it's going to be very, very tricky, to be honest. So that one, if it's reported, is going to be for the stewards. I would read that as a penalty for either one of those drivers. Which one, I don't know. To be honest, I'd let that up to the stewards. They can decide that one, to be perfectly honest. And all in all, yeah, there wasn't much else going on. I think it was just pretty rough, I think would be the word in there. So we'll see how that goes and see what happens. Right, let's go across to the interview room. We've got one driver in, which is Russ Butcher. Russ, can you hear me?
I can, Andy. How are you, mate?
Oh, living the dream, you know me. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, mate.
So first time I've spoken to you in...
It's about 2-3 weeks now, isn't it? 2 or
3 weeks. First of all, how are you finding the brakes? Because obviously we've talked a little bit before off stream, and you know you've had those issues with the brakes. Have you still got the issues with the brakes at the moment? Do you still find that you don't have the confidence in the car?
I don't have the confidence in the brakes, but they were better tonight than they have been the previous 2 rounds, so we're making progress slowly.
Have you done any setup changes there, or is it as in setup changes in RACEROOM, or setup in like...
No, car is just a base setup, there's no setup on the car, it's purely just playing around with the pedals at the minute, because I want to get... Obviously, it's going to be coming towards the latter end of the season now anyway, so I probably won't do anything with setup at all on the car. It'll just be a base. What the game gives you is what I race, and just trying to get the best out of what I've got and trying to get the confidence back in what I'm doing in the car. Like I say, tonight was the best it's been in about 4 races, so yeah, much better.
So much better. So again, let's go through your races. So let's start with race 3, always an action-packed race. It's touring car. Unfortunately, race 3, 15 cars reversal, always creates that sort of drama. You were in the thick of it for a large portion of that race.
Yes.
How was that? I mean, because it's a tight... Zandvoort and especially on the National, is a very tight and twisty track.
It is a very, very tight circuit. It was great. I really enjoyed it. But the incident points just accrued up, and by, I think, with about 6 minutes to go, I had 38 incident points, so I just had to pull off down the straight and find a gap in the traffic where I could just pootle about on my own, really. Yeah, just so I could finish.
Get the points.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you don't want to do all that work and not finish. And like I say, Ola, who was in front of me, had a couple of come-ins together, and he didn't finish. So, yeah, so I think I made the right decision in the end, although it doesn't feel like it at the time, losing, giving away 5-6 positions. I think at the time I was running 8th, but the problem is, it's just naturally you are a second and a half off to some of these guys, and they want to get through to the front as quick as possible because they want as many points as possible. And some of them don't mind giving you a little tap in the right direction to get past. Well,
I think, as we've touched on before, that's always it's one of the big challenges of race 3.
It is, yeah.
It creates opportunities for drivers that would never have that opportunity of winning. But
yes,
equally, it creates a unique problem that those guys that can win are just out of place. And I think somewhere like a classic track like Zandvoort, it's more prevalent because the track's not wide.
No, there's not a lot of room at all. And like you say, when you're going 2-3 cars wide at points, yeah, it is very hard work.
Which I think is always going to be that way. I think it's always going to be.
It is, yeah.
I think no matter what race series you're driving in, you're always going to get it. But to be honest, with some of the incidents, they just, I don't know. I did a couple analysis, but they seem fairly just like standard touring car stuff. I think to me,
it is. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it, like you say, it is natural bunching. It is people having different braking points into a hairpin or into this corner, into that corner. But also, you know, at the same time, the guys that are running at the front have had 2 races where they've run at the front. They need to kind of realise that they are going to come up against cars that just aren't as quick. And I think they need to adjust their driving a little bit to give the guys, like you say, the guys that are 10th to 15th place realistically, that chance to run at the front. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they don't need to push as hard as they do in race 3.
I think you'll always
get to the front as quick. You will do, because people want to win. But again, you know, getting disqualified for just trying to run your race also isn't, or getting punted off for just trying to run your race isn't fair either.
No, I think it's always a challenge, though. I think that'll always be a challenge with that type of racing. And I think what makes it a bit more tricky is that the field when we started was, 32, 33?
Yeah,
and
we're
now
down
it's
to
25, 22, and then the 15 becomes...
That's it, the gap, the
gap
disparity
becomes a
between
bit
the
trickier.
top and the... Yeah, of course.
So I think that affects it as well. But anyway, that's park that one for one side. Let's go back to let's go back to Watkins Glen, not Watkins Glen, that was miles away. To Laguna Seca. Let's start there first. How did you find that? Obviously, it was race 1, and then we had races 2 and 3 the other week. How did you feel? How did you enjoy that one?
Races 1 and 2 were good. Race 3 wasn't quite so good.
When you did the avoiding manoeuvre.
That's it, mate. Yes, that was again the fact that the brakes just hit the brakes and they just didn't work. So it was aim for a gap that you can try and squeeze myself through. Otherwise, I was taking Benny, Lee Horn, and everybody out that was turning into the left-hander.
I mean, it's always going to be a tricky one, I think. And again, I think a lot of the cars have benefited because obviously a lot of the guys do their setup, so they benefit from that. But it's one of those things, isn't it, really?
Like you say, if you've got the time to practice and you've got the ability to put a setup on a car and make it go faster, whenever I try to put a setup on a car, it always seems to go worse. So.
You're like, just leave it alone and just stick with that. Go from
That's it, mate. Yeah, basically.
And then just to finally pick up on race 1 again tonight, I want to go through that again. Your qualifying, you had a fairly decent qualifying for tonight's race. Is it a track you enjoy? Is it a track you like?
No.
Because you've never done particularly well here. Even in another racing league, you've never really liked racing this track.
I've always tried to avoid it, Andy, I'll be honest. The 2 times you ran it in TGSRL, I never ran it.
You were ill.
I was ill one week. And I was playing football the other. So luckily I avoided it. And then last night, Tuesday night, I come on and did a practice, and I practiced the Grand Prix layout.
Oh.
For an hour, and then Rob and Bill come on tonight and went, it's a different circuit. So it was a hurried 30-minute practice session of trying to learn the track. But then in qualifying, I did do a purple middle sector, which I will be very happy with that.
You're like, I did that, tick the box.
I don't worry about the rest of the lap, but I got purple middle sector.
But then, I mean, that's the thing though, is that you find that if a driver does really likes a track, they do really well at it, and if they don't, you just go, I just want it over and done with.
Yeah,
to be honest.
But to be fair, like I've said before, at circuits that I don't particularly like, I normally tend to have a half decent night's racing, and tonight I have as well. You know, I think I've had a 10th, an 11th, a 10th, and an 11th again, so that's not too bad.
I mean, it's just top 10 for one, and then just outside the top 10 for 2 others. And that's the thing, because ultimately you've just got to keep getting those points.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really racing for anything. I'm in CA1, which is I'm never going to win that. So,
but it's an achievement to get to CA1.
Exactly, that's my. So I'm just hoping not to finish bottom of CA1, and I don't even mind, even though Alex isn't racing anymore, as long as I can score more points than him and not finish bottom of the table. I'll be very happy.
Score more points than the driver that's not racing. Hey, tick the box.
Yes.
Then you can say, this one season I beat Alex.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to that.
which is brilliant. Just quickly, because obviously I'm running out a bit of time now. So next week, where are we next week? You probably know more than I do. Where are we next week?
Next week is... That's a good question. Suzuka.
So, are we?
I believe.
Oh, yes, we are, but we're on the different circuit.
Yes, Suzuka West or something.
Yeah, it's the other one. I like Suzuka.
So I'll be sure to load up the right track this time.
You get to go, oh, we're on the GP one. No. Are you looking forward to that track? Is that a track you think you're going to do well at, or is it...
I've only ever done the Grand Prix one, mate, so that'll be another learning curve.
Oh.
For the little shorter West track. But we seem to do all right. We seem to rock up and do not too bad. Mr. Average, I think. So we always seem to be Mr. Average.
Well, the thing is, as long as you enjoy it and it's a bit of fun.
That's it.
You know.
I enjoy it massively.
Which is good.
If I could have about 80 instant points, I'd enjoy it even more. Because race 3.
The problem when you have too many instant points is you have too many incidents.
It wasn't me, to be fair. My bumper seemed to have a little target on the back of it.
To be honest, all I'm saying is I just saw what I saw on screen, and that's how it is. There's always a caveat to everything, is that there's always other views that I don't have. And that's the way I look at it. Well, I'm going to leave it there, because I'm running out of time.
No worries, mate.
Always.
Nice to speak to you.
Thank you for joining us. Obviously, come and join me next week as well. Well,
I didn't know if you had anyone come visit you or not, so I thought...
No, I had Alex Ward last week, and then no one the week before. Nobody visits me.
I haven't spoke to you in a little while, so I thought I'd jump on. And I didn't message you today, so I thought I'd jump on and speak to you instead.
Ah, thanks. Well, good results for you today, and hopefully you'll load the right track up for next week.
I shall try my best, mate.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us.
No worries,
well
mate.
done on your results, as always.
Thank you, pal.
And I will catch you next week.
I'll speak to you soon, Andy. Take care, pal.
Ta-da.
See ya.
And there we go. So that's it for tonight's racing. As always, lots and lots of talking points. And I'll always say that we only ever see one camera angle. There will always be hundreds of other camera angles. Well, there isn't hundreds, but there's lots that the stewards will look at. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed tonight's racing. I'll be back same time, same place next week. We will be at Suzuka, which is a track I absolutely love. I think it's a fast-moving track. Again, a classic style track, so not a lot of places to overtake, but the action will be manic. And as always, check us out on Discord, like and subscribe the channel on YouTube. And good night.